uploading this recording in our cash flow page where you can access the past 4 episodes of the cash flow. And this cash flow session is on live. All right. Thank you. It is live on AbangAbu page. Okay, and yes, as I'm a guy who really love this game. It's been a wonderful journey with this game. I have played this game since 2000. It's already like 24 years. In fact, 25 years of playing the game and teaching people for the last 22 years, teaching kids, adults, and people around Malaysia. In the past 3 years, I am going all around the world to share this wonderful thing. All right. And tonight, it is a very interesting because it is so important about knowing the good dads and the bad dads. All right. This is something that we want to discuss in this session. All right. And thank you and welcome for those of you who are in live. And I would love to have you guys to just share this with that one click. Just share with your friends, with your contacts, with anybody that you know that they have read the book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, or somebody who knows or heard about Robert Kiyosaki, and those people who have played the game or heard about this game called Cash Flow. You just share this and let's come and have this session together. And thank you for those of you who are watching. You just like, please click love and like and share with the people that you know. All right. And I am going to have this session quite interactive so that you guys can participate in this session. You can just share with people that you love. You can also be with me online if you have played this game before. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting, like session that I'm going to do now. It's have 4 different segments, all right? And if you are online, if you are watching this, can you just type, where are you from? Are you from Singapore, from Malaysia, from which part of the world are you from? And are you a guy or person that already played this game before? If you have played this game before, you can just click, say yes, I played the game. All right. And yeah, please hit the share button and just share this live with other people. And this is a program or by the fan of Robert's cash flow game, and we are going to like share the insights about the game, how you can actually benefit from the game and what you can learn from the game. All right. So yeah, please do tell us where you're from. If you're around with us, if you're just watching, just keep watching and just share with these people, right? And tonight I'm going to start with this the game, the game lessons of this week, all right? And I choose a topic called the good dad and the bad dad, and how that actually like translate in this workshop that we conduct. At the same time, I would love to share how we can look at this and share in our real life. In real life, how can we do, or how can actually like uh, we get to know about this, what is good dad and what is bad dad. All right. And these cash flow games connection with what the topic is very real, because in the game there will be a lot of opportunity that you can actually like just see this side. Oh, this side, yeah, there's big deals and small deals, and these are the deals that actually require money, and sometimes you need to borrow. If you need to borrow, and then there are things that you need to understand and all those stuff. So one of the thing that you really need to understand is what is bad debt and what is good debt, because sometimes when the opportunity just arrive, like you take some cards and then it's requires some kind of money, and then you just like go and get the money from the bank, and then you realize you still have to pay some sort of like money every month. So that is what we call the bad debts. The bad debts is something that you have to pay again and again through your own pocket. All right, and and some deals, when you take the card, the deal says can be positive or can be negative. It doesn't give you the full calculation, but then it does tell you whether it's going to be positive or negative. That's something that very very interesting about this game. And what I want to discuss today is good debts. What is good debts? Good debts means, you know, uh, this debt helps you acquire cash flowing assets. It's you buy or you purchase or you invest in something that going to give you a monthly cash flow. In a simple example is real rental property, business, loan, uh, a business loan that generate profits from that business. So and good debts, the good debts also can be a very important tool for us to grow our wealth, to grow our wealth if it is managed responsibly. All right, it is not just getting the loan and then you just don't really take care of what the cash flow all about from the assets that go in. All right. So whereas bad debts, what is bad debts? Bad debt is normally the high interest debt used to fund liabilities. So if you are a fan, or if you have read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it says that asset is something that gives you money, and liabilities is something that's going to take out money. So the definition of bad debt is high interest debt that used to fund liabilities. For example, that we buy a big car and then every month we struggle to pay the car. We buy the big house and then every month we struggle to pay the house. All right. And sometimes we use credit card to purchase things that we don't need, or we don't have money to purchase. So that is also can be a bad debts, and that debts that you use for shoppings, and you take personal loan for your lifestyle upgrading. All these are considered bad debts. It drains your it drains your financial resources without generating income. It just finish. You can have so much of money, but it can finish without generating any income if you have bad debts. The money can actually just go. All right. So important in measuring debts, that is not a bad thing, guys. That is not a bad thing. However, you need to be responsible in order to use this tool called that. It's just a tool, to help us to acquire our wealth, to get our things done and all those stuff, And so you need to measure the debts looking at what rates that you are actually taking it. So we don't believe in interest. We don't like that interest based, things like that. Anyway, in the conventional finance, it's available for people who have no restriction on using those interest bond kind of like loans. All right. You need to look at that, and then you need to look at the repayment terms, how exactly that you need to pay and how you can actually pay that. You need to look at that. This is how you measure the debts, and also the impact on the monthly cash flow. Does when you take this loan, does that impact your monthly cash flow? That means, does it make your cash flow become tighter, or even it can go into the negative, right? So that is what you need to know. All right. So which type of debt do you think most people struggle? Within good debt or bad debt? Can you just type? Is it big good debt or bad debt that make people struggle? All right, come on, type if you're watching this. If you think it's good debt, then just type good debt. If it's bad debts, just type bad debts. All right, and that's all about dads, using dads wisely. And a lot of rich people becoming rich because they know how to use this tool called dads wisely, whereas those people who don't have financial literacy, they don't understand finance, they normally end up with so much of trouble because of the debt. The reason being, they don't understand what is good debt. They just go into those things called bad dads, guys. All right. So, again, how many of you are struggling because of these bad dad? You make a decision those days without knowing what is good and what is bad. For you, all right, I got this money, I can start to invest, and then you thought that is a good way to leverage. However, leveraging the right way is knowing whether the debt is good or the debt is bad. So that will be a very interesting and a very important thing that you can actually do. So that is basically the lesson of for today tonight. So it's about that. So the game that we play. And now let me just go into this cash flow move. All right, cash flow move is basically during the game that you play. This is a game that behind me, this is a cash flow game. You see the inner circle, that is what we call the rat race. A lot of people will be trapped inside these and they try to get out through this thing called the fast track. These are the fast track, the outer one, the fast track. Okay, so the game is all about how to get out from this rat race into this fast track. So how to do that, and the only way to do that is to increase your passive income so that it's become more than your expenses. That is the rule, that is the strategy, that is the formula. However, how we can actually take this formula and start to apply in the game so that you understand how to apply that in the real life. All right. So, uh, when you want to get out from this circle, you need to create passive income. And the only way that you can create passive income is by building wealth. You need to build the wealth. That means you have to start to invest in those things. You look at all these, the green one. So you need to invest in those things. So when you start to invest, you will come to understand a thing called passive income. So the whole of these debts that we are talking, for you to leverage, all right, to leverage so that you can have that passive income coming to you. All right. So in the cash flow game, sometimes you will borrow money to invest in a property or in a business opportunity. You will, because most of the time we don't have enough money to buy over some asset or business on cash. All right. So that is where you will start to think to get the loan. And that's when you need to really, really understand, are you going into a bad debt or good debt? All right. So because by leveraging on these thing called debts, you now can speed up, all right, speed your path to achieve or to escape from the rat race. Okay, so that is basically the whole idea. So when you want to build the wealth, that can be a tool for you to leverage so that you can achieve your financial goal, or you can achieve the target of escaping from this thing called the rat race. All right, so that is basically what. And guys, if you are listening to me, all right, just type where are you from, and yes, have you played the game called Cashflow, or have you read the book Rich Dad? If you have read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, just type I have read it. All right, if you have played the game before, you can also try type I played the game. If you know Robert Kiyosaki, just type I know Robert Kiyosaki. I'm a fan of Robert Kiyosaki, right? Okay, now, so how these cash flow move, apply in our real life. In real life application, when you look at real life application, mortgage for investment property, this is what we need loan. If you look at all those people that actually acquire big houses, big properties, commercial or industrial or even residential, you need to have mortgage, because nobody would buy in cash because we might don't have that much of cash to actually buy those property, right? So the only way is to get mortgage, to get this mortgage so that we can purchase that property. So, using the mortgage to purchase a rental home that generate positive cash flow, right? So this is how we can apply in our real life application the game. Through the game we learn and we can apply. Okay, how to calculate the expected returns and also monthly loan payments. You need to understand when you start to use this loan for the mortgage, you need to calculate. All right, to calculate what is the expected returns that I'm going to get from this property and how much monthly loan that I'm going to pay. So when you do the calculation, you understand whether you have more or you have less. So when you have more, that is a good loan. When you have less, that is not a good loan, it's a bad debt, all right? Because you need to take out the money. However, that is just one part of it, because the other part of it is what we call capital appreciation. Because some people, when you have the capacity to lose $100 or $200 a month in return of like looking for 5 years return or 10 years return, that the capital is going to like go up as what it have been doing for the past many decades. So that is another way of looking at how you can calculate. All right. Okay, now second way that you or second things that you can do in real life using the loan is what we call business loan for expansion. Really listen carefully. I'm saying business loan for expansion. It is not a business loan to start a company or start a business. A lot of people fail because they take loan to start a company and then they couldn't pay the monthly interest or the capital, making them struggling. And also when the business doesn't really uh, go as what we wanted, because sometimes certain business will take a year or a year and a half to really produce some profit. Some business it come very fast. So it's all depend on your business. So when you want to take loan, all right, for your businesses, first make sure you know why you want that loan. Is it for starting a business? Then you are making a wrong move. Unless you are now taking that business loan for expansion. For example, you want to buy a new equipment for your business or invest in some marketing that actually can boost your business. So you want to invest in expanding, all right? Not to get started, all right? Remember that. So what this game actually through the element or to the tool that called debts, it allow us to leverage on things that we can't afford to buy. So with this tool, we can afford to have that thing that we want. All right. And then the second thing, that as an entrepreneur or a person who have that mindset of getting out from this red rich, we will be calculating whether the loan that we take, can we have the payment from that assets to pay for the loan. Example, I buy a house of a half a million and I have a monthly payment of 5,000 a month, but then I am able to rent this for a 6,000. In that case, this is an asset because it's give me 6,000 minus of my 5,000 of bank loan. I still have 1,000 extra that been pocketed into me. So in that terms, that is what we call leveraging the debts to create that passive income. Clear? All right. Okay. Now, so have you ever used a loan, guys who are listening and watching? Do you have ever used a loan or mortgage to invest? To invest, I'm not talking about staying in your home. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about, have you ever have loan to actually to invest in something, invest in asset that produce your passive income? If you have, you can definitely share with me, guys. You can definitely share with me so that you are able, like to share with others as well. All right. Okay. So that is the next one I'm talking about. So what is the segment? How we can actually leverage loan in real life by using it to as a mortgage to invest in some property, or you take a business loan for your business expansion. Okay, these are the two things that we can actually do. So if you have an experience of in this loan, can you share with us by typing your comment in the comment box? Type what kind of like loan that you have experienced, and what is your experience by having this loan? Is it stress? Is it easy, or do you struggle? What is your experience? Can you share that? We are love to hear people's sharing, because sometimes through this sharing, not sometimes, every time through this sharing, we learn so much, guys. Okay, and now actually I'm expecting some of my people, or people who have to be here, but tonight, since it's a public holiday in Singapore, right? In Singapore, we are celebrating a festival called Chinese New Year. It's a new year for the Chinese. All around the world, they are celebrating Chinese New Year. So today is a Chinese New Year here in Singapore. So it's a holiday today and tomorrow. Yesterday was the reunion dinner, and today is the first day, and tomorrow is the second day. So we are always having a 2 days holiday, 2 days celebration of Chinese New Year here in Singapore. All right. Um, you know, there are times that when I can see, when people play, some of the mistakes that people do is they keep on their bad debts, without realizing it actually taking a lot of our money out of from our pocket. For example, there is one time I see this guy. So he actually started the game well, because he have quite a middle income. He was an engineer in that game, and then he collect the money and all those stuff. And he suddenly find an opportunity, and this opportunity require him to came out with nearly $5,000. And but at that time he don't really have that 5,000. So what he does, he just like borrow from the money, because he have the capacity to borrow at least 10,000 money from the bank. So he borrowed the 5,000 and he paid the bank for his property, which give him $100 of passive income. All right. And the interest that been charged on him was 10% every single month. That's ridiculous. Every single month, this guy have to pay $500, whereas what he get is $100. So he is losing almost $400 every single month. All right. And sometime even he have the cash, he forget about he is paying those interests which is high. So you need to always look at the balance. You have to check whether your money is going for some high interest loans, or whatever payment. So you have to make that out from your life. So you need to look at whether do you have a credit card debts that you are paying for your whatever, and you are actually like taking your personal expenses. So you have to look at it, because in that game that actually cost him a lot of money, and he never realized until towards the end of the game. And then he was like asking, why, even he have a high paying job, but then he just couldn't get out of, because he don't have the enough cash to participate in the opportunity that arise. So what is the problem? The first one, he don't realize that he have some loans, and then he never thought of like clearing some of his debts. So that's what make him stuck, even he have a very good income. Okay. So the solution normally, what we can do is, one, of course, you can have a debt consolidation, loan at a lower interest. That means you can borrow money from, other banks. In the game you have other banks, so you can borrow for a lesser kind of like interest, and then you pay off the main one, and then you just like pay the small interest for those people who you borrowed from. That is one thing that you can do. And then and this is also freed up cash flow to invest in a small other partnership and everything. So when you do that, you suddenly have extra that you can use to invest or participate in other things. So um, what you can do is like look at that and start to pay off, so that you have that extra which you can actually use to start some small businesses. The outcome, these small businesses will start to generate some kind of like steady returns. So, and when that happen, it's going to pay the repayment. It's going to pay off the person or the other loan that you actually paying, and these also will allow you to create additional income. So what you have done is amazing. You have cleared your debts, you have created a new source of income, and now you have extra cash. So this is what's going to happen, when you play the game and you understand how you can actually apply. All right. So now, message for the audience that actually been here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And I believe you will have some sort of like little things that you can take this and use in your life. All right. So even you have started, the message that I want to give you is this: even you have started with bad debts, brothers and sisters, there are ways to turn that situation around, okay, and move towards building wealth. Don't worry if you are stuck in some kind of like debts and all those stuff. There's always ways that you can turn around and then create, building wealth. Real things happen in one of my students who have 13 different debts that cost millions of dollars, brothers and sisters, million. All right. He is in an industry called the ship industry. And during COVID, it was like a terrible thing happened. So there's no movement, everything cancels. So they fall into a huge debt, and that make him stress. However, with certain techniques and certain way of structuring those debts, as well, create a plan of repayment, that person have cleared his 19 loan to 11 in a year, and the next 2 years he go into three, the last three loans, and the next 2 years he got two properties. The three next 4 years he got seven properties, and the last time that I meet him, it was like 10 years, 12 years now. Yeah, and he have, you know, you'll be amazed when I say that he have more than 15 properties right now. So it is a transformation from a bad dad person who have a debt that costs millions to 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 transform himself to own 15 over properties within a span of 10 years, and that's amazing, guys. So there's always a hope, all right, if you know, and if you can restructure the loans that you have, right? So that is the best thing that I can share during the game. So in game you can see how people make mistake, how you yourself and play the game, you will see how you have made that kind of like mistake, guys. And every time you play the game, you're going to increase your financial literacy, you're going to increase your financial intelligence, you're going to increase the capacity and the capability to make fast and quick decision. It's not an only fast and quick. Most of the time, it's going to be the right decision that brings great results. So this is the game that's going to teach you. So for you, those who are in Singapore, all right, we are having this game on the 1st of February in Singapore. And in Malaysia, we are having it in Selangor, Kajang on the 8th of February. And those people who are all around the world, just check at our website so that you can see what is that. Let me just like type in the website so that you guys can go and have a look. All right, so that you can immediately join. All right, okay, let me just put that wealth circle dna.com. Okay, in that the thing that I gave you, all right, you can actually use that to go and check uh, in my website, so that you can get what's happening in the world, all right? It is not just in Singapore and Malaysia, all around the world. Okay, I just put that there so you can check it out, guys. So you can check it out so that you can see what's happening right there. Okay, so there's two places that having at this week, and of course we have in one in KK that coming in 5th and 6th, and then we have one in Johor Bahru on the 13th of February in Galang Pata, so you can come and enjoy the session as well. And in Japan, we are having it on the 22nd of February in Japan, Tokyo, the game of cash flow. All right, guys. So that is a bit about the game and how we can apply the principles that we play in the game in our real life, the concept of good debt and the bad debt, right? Okay, now so, what is the quick tips that I want to give or quick cash flow tip for today, before we can end this session in a very in another 10 or 20 minutes. I think it's 10 minutes more, 13 minutes here. Okay. Uh, so I want to give this tip on managing debts quite effectively, and the first thing, if you really want to clear your debts, why I'm sharing this, I've been in debt. I've been in debt, terrible debts, and and all kind of like debts. I have borrowed from people, from bank, from all those unlawful sources before, and it was a struggle. So the first thing that you need to really understand, so, or I call it, this is the rapid fire tip, which is know the numbers. You need to know exactly the numbers. All right, track all your debts. Need to know the interest rates. You need to know the monthly payment. So you need to have these three things in writing. It must be visual. You must understand. You must know. That is the first step. So you need to know the numbers. That means how much debts that you are actually having, how much monthly payment that you are making every month, and what is the interest that you are paying for that debts. This is a must, brothers and sisters. And then the second thing that you need to do is plan to pay those who is or those high interest debt, those high interest debts such as your credit card, your personal loan, and your finances. Those are the things that normally will have high interest. So you have to prioritize which are the loans that you need to pay first. And then you need to pay off or you have to refinance, all right, expensive credit cards and personal loans. All right, so you need to refinance, meaning so you have to refinance something to pay off those high interest debt, and then you move with the only thing. All right, and the next thing that we can do is negotiate and automate. What do I mean by that? Negotiate better terms, with the banks or with the borrowers. Talk to them, tell them, ask them, cry to them, plead them. They have the rights. They have the rights to do that because they are not going to lose anything, brothers and sisters. They already make a lot from you and they have nothing to lose, in fact. All right. So do talk to them and make some kind of like thing. So that's the first. And then make automated, meaning whatever debts that you need to pay, you make it auto automate so that on the time it will be deduct, because high interest loans normally have a high penalties if you delay, if you don't pay, if you stuck for a month or two, it can cost you a lot of money. So make sure that you when you have debt that with high interest, no, please make sure you pay off, and you have to be paying on the dot. Don't allow them to just charge for those things. And then number four, what we can do is like um don't, all right, if you really want to use your debt, okay, into investment, make sure that you have a cash reserve and a solid plan for the ROI. A lot of people stuck because they go and invest in something that they just don't understand. All right. And then the worst part, they take loans to do that. And then they start to realize, it's not as what they thought and everything. So make sure that you have some cash reserve in case that you want to take loan. Make sure you want to take $1 million. You may make sure at least you have $1 million, or even at least, $2 million or $3 million. This is what Roberts Kiyosaki does have. He have debts of 4.2 billion, 1.2 billion, but then his properties and net worth 4.2 billion. So that he have more net worth than the money that he borrows, so that he can leverage on that money. All right, so that's another interesting way. So always remember those things that we talk. So wonderful session today, because we talk about the most important, one of those important tools in finance, which is debts. However, how we use this debt is what will determine us to achieve whatever that we want. So a lot of people do use the bad debts, and they struggle and they fumble, and then they just out from the game. Whereas those people who use it in a better way, which we call the good debts, start to move forward, earn passive income and escape from this thing called the rat race that is behind me, guys. Okay, so that is what I have. So I want to just recap what we shared tonight, with all of you. So we have covered the cash flow, uh, um, with impact, what can, in the game, the good dad and the bad dad, leveraging on the dad for growth, turning bad dad around, and quick tips to manage your dads. That's what we have done. So now what I want you to do, very simple. I want you, all right, to I'm sure that you have learned something. If you are listening from me, from the first, if not, you have to watch this again, so that you can actually gain a lot of things. Very, very important thing about that, because a lot of people scared of that. So a lot of people leveraging too much on that. So both are the wrong thing. So you have to have strategy to understand how to use, how to leverage this debt into your financial independent goal. All right. So um I would like to tell you guys who are watching, do share this with your friends and contacts and members and families and anybody that you feel that can be benefited from this talk, especially those people who are thinking to take a loan, or people who are afraid of loan, or people who have a lot of loan, all right? And if you guys, want to share your own experience about this cash flow game, and you have played somewhere and you want to appear on this show together with me to share your journey, please remember and just contact us at this number that I'm going to put here, 8817 8197. It is Singapore number. So there's a 65 there. So that is a number that you can actually call and WhatsApp, so that I can invite you for my next show that might be happening on the next week, all right? The same time, which is Wednesday, 9 p.m. So we are going to invite you, if you have an experience playing the game, or you guys are organizing the game, or you are lead, in the cash flow things, or all those are, please come together. Let's spread this with more people. Enjoy the game, play with the people, play with different people, play more than 10 times, teach other people to play the game and also learn from it. All right. So that will make us grow as a community in this world. One thing, that the money been created actually for peace, however it been used now for war. That's what's happening right now in the world. All right, so thank you guys for listening to me. I hope that you guys learned something from this session. And if you like what I have shared, please do some comment. Please share this with your, people. And also remember, do come to our program that's happening right in Malaysia and Singapore. We have put the link there. You can actually go into the link and check it out. All right. On first day, this Saturday, we are having it in Singapore, and the next Saturday, we are having it in Kuala Lumpur. So take chance, come, learn, and then let's grow. All right. Learn and earn, and then become rich. All all right, become rich and also financially independent. We don't want to be rich and struggle, but we want to be rich and financially independent. That means you can do whatever that you wanted to do without worrying about money, right? That is the agenda. That is the agenda of our community called Financial Independent Millionaires. All right. So that's what we've been creating. So with that, I want to thank again all of you who watched this show for the past 45 minutes. All right. So thank you so much. Until we meet you all again next week in this cash flow talk show. And guys, if you have very interesting stories, if you have anything about this game, your life change, or you are conducting, you see people change after the game, please do share, take that number down, just connect with me and let's have some conversation, and I want to see you on my show in next week. So till then, see you again, guys. Best from ABU. Always believe in you. Bye bye.